Good day, Peter. How are you today?
Very good. How are you doing?
I am doing fairly well.
All right.
Soon, Laura will be here, and hopefully Mircha will be here as well. And there's Laura. Good day, Laura.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
I'm good. Not
Good.
much than I was the last meeting we were in together, but no,
You're better than you were, or you're not as good?
no, just about the same.
About the same, yeah. Yeah, I'm actually pretty good. It's a beautiful day here. Hi, Peter. It's nice to meet you. I'm Laura.
Hi, I'll introduce myself. I'm Peter Melquist with HPE. I've been only going to the API model side working group. I thought I would start joining over here too.
We're thrilled to have you.
Okay, great.
Always nice to have new faces in the mix. We're going to probably have to wait for a few moments for Mersha to show up, and we have one other person named Chanley Lee who's I'm hoping he'll join today. We had a lot of folks that are at conferences this week, so we'll see if we get bodies. But what we'll end up doing is going through. I don't know if you saw that list that I had in the background, Peter. I just showed it a second ago. We'll end up going through our action item list and talk about what we have and haven't done, because right now we're still in the process of getting the lab set up for proof of concepts.
Mm-hmm.
So once we get everything set up and established, we can start talking about what actual proof of concept work we want to do. And people are invited to A, help with lab setup if they have cycles, and B, invited to provide proof of concept recommendations or suggestions. It helps us as a team make forward progress. So Chanley, good morning. It's a pleasure to see your name showing up right there.
Chanley.
Hello.
And we'll give it one more minute to see if Mersha joins. And Paul, do you have anything that you want to cover today?
I have a few things. I've slacked with Mircha quite a bit. I've got the licenses applied to the big IP devices in the lab.
Oh, great.
And so they are now licensed, barely configured devices.
Fantastic. Now that you finally have
need-
licenses.
Yeah, it was good. Took act of Congress, but got it done.
That was impressive, actually. That was heroic.
And then I've got I need a couple of different connections made to those devices. I need to get them cabled correctly. They don't look like they're fully cabled.
Got it.
And then I had a question about SSL certificates, and if we're planning on getting like an opiproject.org SSL set of certificates for devices so that our devices show up as secure when people try to connect to them.
Okay.
So that's a question and probably a new task that needs to go on the
task list.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm happy to run that to ground and get a set of wildcard certificates. I don't know if Linux Foundation has a preferred partner for that, but
okay, let me pull up the task list real quick. I was starting to take some notes in the background. So just tracking attendees, etc. So let's head into here. Talk about in progress, because I believe that your tasks that you just covered are in progress. Let's see, license for big IP boxes. So you've established those. You want me to move that to completed?
You can move that to done.
Awesome. I like it.
Done is good.
So that is done and closed. All right, let's move on to, you wanted to enter a new task, correct?
Yes.
Let's create a new one. And what do you want to title it? What was it? SSL certificates?
Yeah, SSL certificates. Review and obtain. So I've asked Sridhar if there's a preferred vendor. And then once we get an answer back, I'll go about ordering those. I'm wondering if actually HE has those as well, if they've got a process, but that's a question for Mircea.
Okay.
Sorry, my dog has decided it's time for treats. Just a moment.
It's okay. It happens to me sometimes. Chanley, did you want to take any of these tasks now that you've been added to this project?
Yeah, can you assign me the installation for, what was it called? Prometheus
Prometheus?
/ Grafana.
Mhm.
There we go. You want that one?
Yeah.
Look at you, Chanley. It's your first task. That's so exciting. Uh-oh. Why am I not seeing you in here? Hold on. That's bad.
It's just Chan 811.
It's what?
Chan 811.
Oh, okay. Phew, that scared me. It's like, wait, no. I have to go learn more things. I'm actually more intellectually curious than that. I'm just kidding. Okay. Is there anything else that you want to own in here right now?
Just that right now.
Okay. Have you talked to Mircea offline at all?
Yeah, I DM'd him on Slack.
Okay. And
Gave
he
me
said
the
okay.
server.
Got it. Peter, do you want me to just sort of scroll through our list of activities so you can kind of,
That would be great, yeah.
okay. None of these are not in any particular order right now. I can show you what's done and what's in progress. So stuff that's in done state is that we've got something that has been substituted as a management server. We've chosen hypervisors for our servers. We've created a DHCP server. We've created workflows to use self-hosted runners. We've got a network.
Would you also support bare metal? Or is this just gonna be like DPUs on server hosts running hypervisor?
Right now it's DPUs on hosts. That doesn't mean we can't do something different, but currently the framework is DPUs on hosts. Did you ever see the presentation that the OPI team did at OCP?
I saw it, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so that environment was hypervisors, right? Or that was the baseline. But that doesn't mean that it has to be that way.
Yeah, and the hypervisors, Peter, are for we wanted one or two servers that could do things like host a Active Directory type solution, a server that could host a DHCP server, those sorts of things, so that we didn't have to put those on
Yes.
metal. So
Yeah,
it's
so it's
not
kind
that
of
every DPU host is going to have a hypervisor on it. I don't think that's the case. It's a kind of a generic management servers that have a hypervisor on it, so we can run multiple things.
that makes sense. So yeah, the nomenclature we commonly use, we say like DPU side and host side. So this is the host side. The DPU side, in theory, can have multiple operating systems as well, right?
Yeah,
Right.
DPU side will have whatever operating system
Yep.
you decide to put on there. If it's
That's
a
And
open
that may vary based on the vendor, an IPU or a Bluefield, for example.
right, yeah, it just depends on.
Mhm.
I'm not certain that we're going to stick with whatever it is that is shipped by the company. We may stick with that to begin with.
Makes sense, yep. Makes
I
sense. That's
think
gonna be
try and-
supported, right?
we want to try and get to a point where we can swap out those OSs using OPI processes.
That's right, like a ZTP or something like that.
Yes, precisely.
Okay.
ZTP is pretty important here, and we actually could use more devs playing in that space if we don't have
Okay,
new.
so you picked out your hypervisor at least for the servers where you want VMs to host additional infrastructure.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes sense.
Right. So essentially what you're seeing here is all of the work that we've put in place to build the lab. So
Mhm.
this is these are all of the activities that are in done state
Yep,
in the lab. And then if you go back and see in progress, we're sort of at kind of the next phase. Part of the problem is that we only have really one person, one or two people. No, basically one person who's quote unquote focused on this and one or two people that are supporting that effort. But we don't have anybody that's like, I own this, I'm the only person doing this. So we
Yep.
have a series of tasks that could really use some assistance from other groups. So if you know of anybody, Peter, that you would like to see participating in this effort or who should possibly come in here, and obviously you stepped in today and I'm like, ooh, new person. But if you can't, if you don't have cycles to do this work, if you know of somebody at
Yeah.
HP that is interested in participating in this space,
yeah.
we always want to bring in new life.
Sure, sure. And we have our own, I can say without saying too much, we have our own DPU lab. All
Uh-huh.
right. And so when I'm looking at this, I'm kind of comparing. I think it sounds like you've got, a set of, let's call it a cluster of servers with DPUs. And,
Correct.
and there's network infrastructure. It looks like the maximum link rate is 100 gig, which is fine, right? Most of these DPUs are running at faster speeds, 200 times 2 or even faster. But 100 gig for a lab, I think is fine. This is me thinking out loud. We're not trying to have use cases in extreme cases, right? There's other functionality use cases that can be achieved with 100 gig. Is that kind of consistent what you guys are thinking?
Yep. So specifically, we've called out that there is no performance testing in this phase of the lab. And this phase of the lab is to be built to be in support of the CI/CD
Okay.
building of OPI artifacts, and the testing of those. That the next phase would be when we get to a point where we have enough equipment to have people check it out, to do development and test playing around. So Laura said she'll be right back. She had to step out. So we'll be playing enough equipment to play around with it, but we want to get we need to get the lab up and running first.
Yep.
So things like VPN access and Prometheus, Grafana that Chanley's setting up, and the runners and that sort of.
Yeah, so you'll have, you have the control or management plane side, right? And then the data plane side, right? So you've got VPN access, so we can shell into all the DPUs.
Yep.
And similarly on the host side, you want to be able to get into the hosts, and in this environment, those could be they could be air gapped. But have you talked about like the isolation mode? Most of these DPUs support different levels of isolation where the host may or may not be able to see there's a DPU on the other side.
Yeah, that's most of the demos that I've been involved with so far have been used, not putting the DPU in isolation mode, but using it only as in kind of an isolated mode. So where traffic goes to the DPU in one interface or in one VLAN and out another interface or out another VLAN. and the traffic never goes to the host.
Yeah,
Um,
it only surfaces through PCI Express through some driver to the host, if configured to do that.
right, and it's not, so the tests and the demos that we've been working on are putting a proxy, an Nginx proxy on the DPU and showing that we can, what kind of traffic can we push through, what kind of security can we get
Mhm.
on the DPU, and as things proxy through it. So, and using the connectivity to the host, not through the PCIe bus, but through network connectivity. So,
Okay, so do you have, I looked at the last OCP deck, Joe White sent that to me, Joe and I have worked together before.
okay.
And is that representative of the desired lab topology, or has that evolved? What can I look at that maybe shows me a picture of the intended topology? Maybe you don't have it built out yet, that's fine, but here's kind of what we're thinking.
1 second, please. I will show you. This will be difficult to see on this screen, but I will share. So this is the lab itself. Let me get it to where I can see it. So you can see we've got a top of rack switch that is connected to the public network. So it's got a 216.218.200.224/27 network. I'm connected to the outside world.
Okay.
And then we've got a terminal server or a console, a serial console switch.
Yep.
It's connected to the serial ports on many things. We've got a KVM that's connected to the KVM ports on many things. We've got our two F5 devices here. These will act as the VPN ingress points and will load balance to traffic that goes down to this. This is an Arista 100 gig switch down here. That's where all the DPUs will be connected, will be to this switch. These are hosts, DPU hosts. 1, 2, and 3 is what we have now. We'll have more of those. Each will host at least one DPU.
Okay.
Today we've got I believe a Pensando and a Bluefield 3 in here.
All right, great.
No, maybe a Bluefield 2 is what we've got in here right now. We have an Intel Mount Evans.
Yep.
And a Marvell CN106
Octeon 10.
Octeon based one ready to be installed in these servers. I don't think we've submitted the tickets to have that done yet.
And what kind of servers are they? What brands?
Are they Supermicros or are they they're not HPEs?
I think they are several different flavors of servers.
Yeah.
We've got an ARM server that was sent to us from ARM. We've got I think we've got a couple of HP and even a Dell server. I'm not certain. Each sent to us from different companies, some that we had to purchase. Merch is the one who knows the
actual platforms.
And do you have a separate management switch, or you're just using ports off of the Tor?
We're just using ports off of the Tor. So I would like to have a separate management switch and or something we could do there, but we don't have that yet.
Yeah, that's okay. If you got extra ports there, then you could use them.
Yeah. And so that's what we're doing right now. So all of the management ports of the DPUs go to that top of rack switch, and all of the data plane ports go to the Arista switch.
Okay, good. And then to get to the servers on the host side, you come through the KVM switch and then
Go through you go right now, you can go through the KVM switch, which is exposed on the public internet. Once the big IPs are set up, you'll VPN in and then you'll have to jump from there to the console switch or the KVM to get to it.
So you'll
Or
have a jump
directly.
server, you'll have like one VM designated as a jump server or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay,
We're still working on that.
all right, that all sounds reasonable. This looks great.
Mhm. Oh, and there's a traffic generator server here, so that I think is running whatever Keysight provides. This is merges from Keysight, so
Yeah.
It's not a full-on Ixia. It's a I believe a COTS box that they put their open source software on. And we do have a what was a top of rack switch that was unmanaged, and it's unused right now. It's down at the bottom of the rack. We might try and use that for management that's not going to the public internet, but we haven't discussed that yet. That was one of the things I want to talk with Merch about. Yeah.
We
At
might
this
not
point,
be getting him today.
he's not planning on putting VLANs on anything. He's wanted to separate it just by management is on the upper switch and non-management is on the Arista. So that's what the lab looks like right now. Let me stop share. Where is my other one?
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Much appreciated.
And
It's probably good information for you too, huh, Chanley?
Mhm.
let's see if I can. Oh, I'll share this one too. Share screen. This is the way that we've got the big IPs configured and how they'll connect. So we've got the public internet out here that's going to that top of rack switch, going on an external interface on big IP 1 and 2. They are connected HA, or will be connected, just a direct connection, a cable between them. And then there will be an internal interface that goes down to the Arista switch so that we can get traffic down there. So that's the way we've got that configured right now, or the desired configuration. So that's what I know so far.
And a lot of it you've done so far.
Well, anything with big IPs I've done so far.
Yes.
Everything else, well, I've set up a few other things, but most
Hey,
of it.
Chanley, you should work with Paul on the SSL certificate stuff.
Okay.
If that's okay with you, Paul. I don't mean to be volunteering.
Totally fine. Totally fine for me.
I think that would be a good space for you to get more information about big IP, especially as you're doing some partnering internally with us as well on big IP stuff. So I think it'd be a good space for you to get more information about about some stuff that happens in that universe, which is a pretty complex universe already. But
yes.
Okay. Well, Peter, do you have any other questions for us so far? It's a light day here. We've had a couple of folks
No,
say.
this is good. I'm trying to come up to speed on what you guys are doing, so this is very helpful.
I'm really glad Paul was here today too to help guide that conversation. So thank you, Paul.
Good. And Peter, I'd love to, if there are things that you guys are doing in your DPU lab that would benefit us, that would be designs that we could implement, that'd be great to know too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm in a prior life 15 plus years ago, I ran labs. So I'm kind of banking on some old understanding of how things are done. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, one thing, I mean, I think the OPI charter obviously has a lot to do with interoperability of DPUs, IPUs, but I think, kind of a walk or crawl before you run. in some cases, I'm thinking if we could have at least 2 of each, so you could have 2 servers, let's say 2 Bluefields or 2 Mount Evans, then we can start by having, let's say VXLAN or IPsec across those 2, right? And then you can start to do interoperability. So I just think it could be a little tricky to say, all right, here's how Intel's done IPsec, and can we get it to talk to,
Right. Right. If you have onesies, it makes it really hard to have that space of redundancy and see the way that the software is intended to work in multiple environments.
So it should work because that's why we have standards, right? But still, it just kind of, if we had enough rack space and equipment, it'd be nice to see maybe 2 of each. That's all.
Yeah, so we do actually have 2 Marvell CN 1026s that just came in that need to get racked. They may actually have been racked. I'm not sure, but that's why we like to talk to Marcia, because Marcia tends to know everything that's actually happening in the background.
Is the one with the smart hands folks at Hurricane Electric.
Right, and then there's also I believe that we have 2 Dayton Peaks that just came in, but we didn't send one. We have 2 Dayton Peaks that just came in, so we do tend to have duplicates of hardware. I'm not sure about the NVIDIAs at this point. Paul, you sort of spoke to that, and if we only have one, then we only have one of the BF3s, but I thought we had 2.
I think we may have ordered 2 Bluefield 3s.
To come in, that's right, because we did just order some hardware as well. So we have more typical for most of the platforms we have, or most of the cards, we have more than one of the major vendors. I don't know about the Pensando because again, Marcia tends to control the view of the lab, and I'm just trying to get everybody to a place where they can look at our environment and go, yeah, we can do work here. And then everybody have sort of that, then you have to solve that problem of management of people. So
reservation system or something.
that would be nice. I don't know if the lab has a reservation system or not, but if we could get one in place or find out, that's actually a good action item to future-proof ourselves.
Yeah, it could be low tech to high tech, right? Low tech is, we all trust each other and we stay
for sure
each other's way. And then high tech would be you actually have certificates or something to lock out, right?
Right. All right. Well, gentlemen, I can say that because I'm the only girl. Let's convene next week. I think unless we have any other topics to cover, I'd love to give you guys some time back. I always like giving people time back. Chanley and Paul, you should probably sync offline on that SSL certificate conversation. And Peter, feel free to ask us any questions over Slack, or if there's anything that you need, we're happy to support you.
All righty. Thank you so much.
Great. Have a fantastic day. Paul and Chanley, you guys take care, and I'm sure that I will see you in the next few hours/days.
You bet.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.